Are you there?
See, all these people are here. Got 6 inches the other day.
YouTube, are you there?
Andy Cumberland, what's up? 5x5.
YouTube.
Guys, type out whatever it is you want to discuss. We can bullshit about whatever for a little while. We just finished recording the Pulling the Thread podcast. We just recorded Patreon question and answer for members. So we're just going to do a live here for a few minutes before Jeff has to get out of here. YouTube just came up. There we go.
There we go. YouTube.
So it should start. It should start flowing. Picture clean and clear.
YouTube where everybody's at?
Yeah, bigger audience. Gilly Gorilla, what's up, buddy? He's he's by Nashville.
Oh, really? What's a Gilly Gorilla do?
Ghillie suit stuff, right?
I don't know. Would a gorilla need a ghillie suit?
He seems to know like thermal stuff. Battle Chemist, nice. What's up?
Thermal stuff.
Gary Johnson, what's going on? Gary just bought a beautiful property. Fallen Light, 1996. Wyatt, what's going on, guys?
It's really slow.
Homestead.
You're like 5 minutes behind us over there.
Stopping in to say hi. Project management meetings. Right on. That's got to be boring as can be. Let's have a meeting to meet about maybe having another meeting. Iridium Group we're working up in Canada. Iridium, man, we've been having 10, 15,000 people an evening on the lives. And a lot of dudes comment that they can't own guns in Canada. And I said, that's a misconception. You guys actually can own firearms in Canada. And I think that people really believe that they cannot. And I actually tell them, I go, hey, check out Iridium Solutions in Canada. He doesn't sell guns, but they do a lot of training, and he will have some information for you. What compound changes are you making with being around Salatin and his systems? Almost everything Joel said to do, we were already doing. Joel saw it at a very poor time. Every time we have SRF, everything's dead here. Like, I put more mulch into the pens, which we do all the time. The whole compound has been in wood chips. I mean, when I say 1,000 dump trucks, like we had 1,000 dump trucks over years come in here. Everything's been in heavy wood mulch. This dude right here is cool. Tim Galloway. He makes some nice gear. Rural, what's up? One day you'll be a real boy and we'll have you on the live feed. Notified on Facebook, watching on YouTube, right on, Doug. They make air rifles that are powerful enough for real bullets too, and they're completely legal. Yeah, compressed air. They're killing bears with them. They're killing Cape buffalo with them. The air gun technology is fucking incredible right now. Runkle of the Bailey is an attempt of a Canada
attorney up in Canada and competes with firearms up there. He's not super happy about the new laws though. Yeah, they do have some new gun laws that are,
seems like they're always trying to put them into effect here in the United States. If you want to see what's coming here, just look up there. Doing squat, just switched from Real AF to Catch You Gentlemen. Jeff, what up, buddy?
What up?
Jose, what's going on? Tennessee was awesome. Visited last week, unable to make it out to SOE. Your priorities are completely fucked, apparently.
You should have came here first.
What just happened? It just jumped here. Thank you, making me blush. I see why guys do super chats.
Why do they do super chats?
Because I roll so fast. When you go back to look at them, fucking 400 more come through. June, what's up? Castro Jr. Yeah, people. I don't know how anybody could even think that he is not Fidel Castro's son. Bob Lester, what's up? Oh, Layman's nice. That's fucking cool, man. Is it big? I've never seen an actual picture of how big the store is. You know what Layman's is?
No.
It's a non-electric, Amish Mennonite supply place.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But every homesteader, they used to send out a really cool catalog. Now you have to buy the catalog. But if you want to buy a stove, they'll have 50 different kinds of stoves. And they have a showroom floor where you can actually go and see all that shit. And they do classes and stuff. Justine Castro, yeah. Lenny, what's up? Homestead Medical's on here. That's Chuck.
Chemist.
Damn, get a Killer Jack Spearcoat episode today. And now Skully and Willis, what's up?
What's up?
Mr. Greg. Matt Christopher, what's up? I ran a steel chainsaw yesterday. I don't know what I have, a 3 something.
Really? I did too yesterday. I ran the steel and the
So it was nice. So
the DeWalt.
we had a really big tree that had been lightning struck when we
Yeah.
when we got the property, and it was kind of standing. Half the tree was alive, but half wasn't. And then we had a huge storm last year, and this tree, it picked it up and landed it in some other trees.
Like, oh yeah, over there by the
way up in the air. Yeah,
over there by the fence.
Well,
yeah.
It finally came down. I was able to get in there and put some forks under it, lift some tension off, cut it into a few sections, and then use the grapple and get it out. And then yesterday I cut it up into 16-inch chunks, which was really too big. The fucking tree is so big, they're too heavy. I had to, I could kind of roll them into the bucket, took them over the log splitter. I could almost get them onto the log splitter and then lift them up once they're on the splitter, but I split them, a lot of it up. I've still got, well, I say a lot. I split up probably 10% of the wood, and that 10% of that wood will completely fill one of those IBC totes up. Snags are dangerous. Yeah, we've got a few of them. Battle Chemist says he's got to get back to work.
Hump the shit out of a splitter.
What did it say?
So, dude, I would hump the shit out of a splitter, of that splitter.
Oh, got it. What do you say to others who feel you're crazy for prepping, especially when it comes to guns and ammo? I have doubts at times this is normal. June, I don't care what fucking anybody says. Do we interact with anybody? Like, by my age right now, there's nobody around. If they're around me, they are not viewing their opinion against something that I'm doing. Like, I just don't give two shits what fucking people think. If you do what you believe you should 100% be doing, and you tell people about it, those correct people will show up for that.
I mean, and what is normal? I mean, really, even you can go to this, not the CDC. Who's the people that pretend to help people?
FEMA.
You can go to the FEMA website. You can go to any of those government websites, and they'll all tell you that you should have a week's worth of food.
They moved it. FEMA says 90 days.
But I mean, if FEMA's telling you to do that, then maybe prepping is not a big. But I don't look at it as prepping. I'm not prepping with the guns and stuff. I do that because I love guns. So I don't really look at it. Just happens. It just happens that the things I do are kind of prepper-ish, I guess. But what's wrong with being prepared? I don't understand why being prepared is a bad thing.
And think about that too. Like when we started thinking about prepping, or we had a term of prepping, we used to call it survival in the 80s, right? And people were talking about those guys. If you go back to what grandma was doing when you were a child, that's what we're doing now. Like we just do those things, right? We now have enough property that we can actually camp on our property. When we lived in San Diego, we would drive 2 hours to go shoot a rifle. Mm-hmm. Now you can shoot a rifle on the property, right? We have 100 people come here and do a machine gun shoot on the property. So like, fuck those people. The people talking shit about what you're doing, most of them can't do what you're doing, right? And if you really pulled out bank accounts, they owe so much fucking money. Most of those motherfuckers don't have $1,000 in their bank week to week. So fuck those people. Who's a prepper? Yeah. I can't find anyone around that thinks the same. Maybe it's because I work in the medical field. So June, I don't know where you are. We do Self-Reliance Festival here. And I always use the example. There's dozens of these people now, but I always use the example of California. People will come from San Diego or Los Angeles or San Francisco and come here to Tennessee, to this property in Tennessee. And they will meet somebody that lives literally 15 minutes away from them and has for 30 years. And now they know somebody in that area. You have to go where like-minded people are. And that's typically not at the shopping mall or Starbucks or wherever you are. I don't know where you are in Florida, right? I'm not going to go to Starbucks to meet somebody that like wants to do life with me. You have to have those things in common, and you got to decide what of those is the most important and build those relationships around that. Get in your local community groups. Like we have a Facebook group here called Hip Camden, Tennessee. Every community has a Facebook group for their community. And I see people in there. Hey, who's kind of into prepping? Who's into homesteading? And there's a lot of them. There's always going to be a weirdo. Have a meetup someplace and go, hey, we're going to meet at the Cracker Barrel. And if you're interested in this, show up. The dude that shows up that wants to talk guns and explosives, that's the federal agent. Or that's the dude that's going to bring the federal agents, right? Yeah. Keep that motherfucker at bay. It's not the guns. The guys that show up for the guns, Those are the guys that are going to be the problem. That's usually the weird dude. Like Jeff was saying earlier, our friend over here, Brandel, who's behind the cameras, he's like, I met this guy as a Marine Scout sniper. And Jeff rolls his eyes. And he had these stories. And Jeff goes, usually the dude that's done the most is going to talk the least about it. When you walk into a prepping group and the dude's like, I was a Navy SEAL. No, you weren't. You weren't. You just weren't. High Point made a minigun.
Did they really? Oh man, if they made a minigun, I'm down, because it's only going to be what,
$40,
$275 maybe. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
For guys that aren't aware, there's a company in Nashville that makes like actual miniguns,
yeah.
and you can buy them. Will you be conducting High Point minigun trials to the range?
I would most certainly. If High Point, if you're listening and you want somebody to test out your High Point minigun, I will definitely be the guy for you.
Prepper is a bad term. Yeah, it was survivalist. Now it's prepper. The ultimate goal of a prepper should be to be a homestead, right? Kind of multi-generational stuff. I'm not far from that old codger down the road. Like, don't go down there.
I don't understand why people have such a. What is wrong with being prepared? We have natural disasters,
right?
We have floods,
but for
fires,
the mainstream American, they get information from from this thing, right?
They go
and the government has co-opted that, just like the term conspiracy theorist, right?
The government really doesn't want you to
conspiracy theorist. The CIA coined that term. You say fuck them if they're worried. Oh, I see what he's saying. He's talking about prep being bad. Yeah, Mormons have all the food, and grandma kept her supply chain local and knew how to do stuff. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. See, there's a ton more comments down here. Australia. Did you have to fucking punch a kangaroo on the way out the door this morning? Watch those koala bears. Nasty little fuckers. They all have syphilis too. A lot of people around me think if anything bad happens, the government will help you. Yeah, get away from those people.
Is High Point always listening?
High Point is always listening. They sent us a cease and desist.
Yeah, but John thinks that was just some random lawyer, not High Point.
8 years living in Poway, and have talked to my one and only neighbor once. Times aren't the same back in the 90s, 2000s. I knew the whole street as a kid. Yeah, we all did. You know why that is, Jose? Because we don't go outside anymore.
True.
We don't have to meet face to face on the BMX bikes to go to the canyon, right? Everybody does some bullshit here. It's all this. And most of people's lives are to impress people they don't know on the internet. So they do pretend shit on the internet, right? To get on the fucking, to take a picture, they go and put on clothes and stage the background to portray some kind of life they're not living.
The source. What?
Quit work scooping this dog shit. How are y'all? Would it be worth investing in a government auction multi-fuel vehicle? Do you want one? When you buy those vehicles, everything you have doesn't fit them, right? You have to get a government, like you get a deuce and a half. You got to get a trailer that goes on a deuce and a half. If you want to load the deuce and a half, most of your home, like small lawn type tractors, you're going to be hard pressed to lift, to load that thing. So you need bigger equipment to load that thing. Our friend has a 5-ton dump truck, and your average normal tractor is not quite big enough for that. And then when you want to unload that, you have to have a big mound of dirt or a high loading dock also. So just keep that. If we're being honest and you're just like, dude, I really want this deuce and a half, fucking more power to you. But there's a lot of shit out there that'll be a lot more beneficial to you than that deuce and a half.
And the other problem with it, when you say multi-fuel vehicle,
65 or older.
Yeah, those vehicles are old.
Studebaker.
Old. Good news. The good news is they made a lot of them. And so finding a junked one for parts is easy. But again, it's an old truck, you know, and it's going to ride like an old truck, and it's going to bounce you around like an old truck. But I will say this. I've seen those trucks sitting for 15 years, and in a couple of minutes they fire right up. So that is the good thing about those trucks. But again, it's an old truck.
Made my first YouTube video today. Just trying to figure out. Right on, man. Right on. There, the bright, much
Oh, there
better
we go.
now. Holy shit, now I can see it. High Point multi-tool of firearms, hammer, gun, and sweet Ginsu.
Yeah, you'll see. 20 years from now, all the kids are going to be talking about how the High Point is the best gun on the market.
I'm getting NRCS cost share for eco-friendly goat brush clearing business. That's cool. So what's NRCS doing for you for that? They're giving you infrastructure for the herd, or they'll pay for the fencing on your property. Like they do a lot of different things. They will pay for your row house. They will, and there's a misconception too with NRCS. They don't cut you a check. You buy that shit and they compensate you. And for the row house, for instance, it can't be heated and you have to grow in the ground. It can't be raised beds. So there's some stipulations to some of that. And I'm sure you know better than I do. I'm saying that for people who are not aware. You love the M934. Nothing else sounds like a 14-liter Cummins. Man, I like the Oshkoshes and the bigger, the more current, like the LMTVs and stuff, the newer than the deuce and a half 5-ton stuff. So when I finally moved to Tennessee, how do I join the Grom gang? You got to have a Grom.
Yeah, you got to have a Grom.
And we've kind of moved on. I was actually looking at my Grom this morning. Everybody reverted. He's on a fucking electric bicycle of all things. And this motherfucker over here has a CT 125. It's a trip. He buys a moped and then wants to turn it into a motorcycle.
I love that Super 70. And it's only because it's the Brandel edition. If it was, I wouldn't buy a Super 70 or Super 73 from them.
Skully, when will you have a Tavor class followed by a High Point CCW class?
Well, whenever you're ready for the Tavor class or the High Point CCW class, I'll run the American flag High Point. I'm not scared. It's going to require a lot of reloads, but
are you on his Patreon? You can join his Patreon. That's the first step. And then you guys can discuss, how you're going to pay for that, how that transfer of funds works. And then you'll do the class where you'll go to them or they'll come out here.
They'll come out here.
You want to come out? You want to, like 3 of you guys want to come out and spend the weekend with Skully?
We're going to sleep in tents.
Skully's trying to fund some projects.
We're going to sleep in tents.
Money talks. You want to fucking you want to camp with Skully?
Bring some bullets. I'll bring some bullets. I'll get the bucket of Glocks out. You can fish around in the bucket, find something you like to shoot, and we'll shoot it.
He really has a bucket of Glocks. Yeah, there's 100 people on here, 40 likes. That means 60 of them are federal agents. That EV mini bike, the EV mini bikes rip, toss an IR flood on it, and it's a whole new world with night vision. It goes too fast for night vision. I'm not falling for that again. Love my 60 series Detroit in my long nose Peterbilt. Oh yeah, he's got a big semi truck. It's purple.
Purple. Nice.
Corey says he's down for a range day. Corey Eason. Are you Corey? All the tattoos, used to ride BMX bikes?
He looks like he's kitted up in that little picture. Can't tell.
If that's who I'm thinking of, he's out in Vegas. He was part of like the Vans Triple Crown tour and all that shit. Bring my O shit, and I don't have a like option.
Oh, the patrol class. Yeah, I was supposed to jump out of the bushes in the patrol class, but the patrol class guys got a little nervous. They said they really didn't want me snatching any of you guys up, so I stayed out of it.
What's this say? This illegal immigration invasion is the greatest threat to American way of life? ? Am I wrong? ? Stopping the invasion must be priority one. Well, I think that Waco. I like how he's posting his Waco Ruby Ridge.
The greatest threat is the Democratic Party.
The greatest, but they want you to act on this, right? They want to catalog you. They want you to get a bunch of people to go down to the border. They are looking for a January 6th to lock you and your friends up. Wouldn't you be better off? Like, do we believe that? Yeah, we believe it. Do we think there's going to be a bunch of shady shit happening in the next year? Absolutely. Would you be better off right now if you developed your business, raised your revenue, right? If you had more money, couldn't you do things to secure yourself and your family better for that? Would you be better off having a piece of property and building a badass homestead so even if the power went off, you wouldn't know it?
What is that?
What? Where?
Dudes haven't used
Dudes haven't used floods often. It sounds like at night, IR flood completely wash out the horizon. Life Done Free, what's up, Tag? How are you? Speaking of a badass homestead, and if the power goes out, you don't know it. Tag, you should check out his YouTube channel. He has a fucking huge house, beautiful property, amazing homestead, and there's no lines coming in. He doesn't have sewage coming in. He doesn't have water. He doesn't have electric. And you would never know it. You'd walk in his house and never think, oh man, this place is off the grid. Corey says, no, I used to come to TAC response a lot when you were in the old building. Got it.
Michael Sparks, your friend request. I will look. I never look at that. So I'll look you up, Michael.
You've met Michael. He's the Amsoil guy. He's local.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty local here.
Yeah.
He was at the chainsaw workshop.
Yeah. I will look you up.
He, I want to say he's out of Clarksville.
Michael.
All funded by the UN. Yeah, all that troop movement's funded by the UN. We do all know that the Libyans aren't this smart, right? Just a branch of New World Order power. Yeah, well, do you really think that the person they call the president right now has any fucking say on what's going on? Do we even believe it's the same person that they started with? Anybody see the video of the drill sarn in the round brown with the 20 to 30 obvious migrants in the airport? I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, he's in Dixon, Cumberland Furnace. What do you think of the problem with the rhinos taking up state government and legislature, etc., in rural western states? So I don't know. Ask a more specific question. Everyone's in it for themselves. I told my ex-wife that social media would be the downfall of the nuclear family. Oh, there was a huge attack on the downfall of the of the family long before social media.
Yeah,
I mean, the government, there's always been that division. I'm there with the homestead, inherited land, etc., but eventually the illegal invasion will start to affect rural areas. Okay, so what do you want done, Ruby? Waco, what's your action plan? Like, where are you and your friends showing up today, right? Because we can talk about it, and we don't disagree with you, but what are you going to do about it? Like, wouldn't you be better off getting on your local city town council like now and getting into local politics and meeting your neighbors and having those conversations face to face? If this, then that, right? If this shows up, this is how we will react. If you were the president, what's he saying? If you both were POTUS and vice president, what is the first three things you would do?
Well, first thing I would do is order the Army to bring me an M1 Abrams so I could do donuts in the White House lawn. That's the first thing I would do as vice president.
Shut the fuck
You
up
are
as
president.
vice president.
I am not.
Okay, what else would you do?
Well, again, the border can be shut down with an executive order. You don't need to make law. The president of the United States can shut down the border. So that would be that. I mean, shut down to a trickle, right? Right now, it's a fucking floodgate. So they could shut it down. They don't want to shut it down. So that's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do is I would gather up all the 4 stars, and I would fire them all. And I would find a bunch of colonels, and I would hire them to take those positions, because the 4 stars are the reason why the military is in the shit sandwich that it is right now. That's what I would do. They would all retire. I mean, I wouldn't fire them. I'd be like, you're retired. Same thing with the CIA, FBI. Completely reorganize the FBI, which would mean that a lot of lawyers are going to get fired because they have created an allegiance that is unholy. And I mean, I don't know. There's a ton of shit that you could do, really, as the president of the United States.
Jeremy says require every household to own at least one SOE chest rig. Skully, P30 or VP9?
Neither.
I don't even know what those are.
They're HK guns.
Oh,
well, the VP9 is. I don't know about the P30. Neither. I'm abandoning all striker fire firearms.
What are you going with? Just revolvers?
Yep, I'm going back to wheel guns.
My state is doing its part, but they failed to impeach Maroccas. Individuals and communities can only defend themselves from so many. The force of our own federal government is behind the invasion. We agree. So what are you going to do about it? Like, that's the third time I've asked this. We don't disagree with you, but what are you going to do?
Well, at this point, there's nothing you can do, really.
My grandfather rode a horse on the southern border as in the cavalry for years. Always said this was going to happen. Yeah, somebody said Bezanov, was he correct? Yeah, fuck yeah, he's correct. Is it not happening? I mean, listen to what Sonny says too. I work nights. Just curious why others have time for this. I work nights.
HK's not for the poor. This is true.
Just curious why others have time for this. Well, they're all at work being paid by somebody right now. Some of them own businesses, but you could definitely be someplace worse on the internet right now, I think.
HK gun owners definitely are standing on the balcony looking down at all us poors.
You own HKs.
I know, but still. I own the poor ones.
Make them all Republicans. You want to make Republicans? Take any Democrat and have them start a business. Let him start paying taxes. He'll become a Republican very quickly. Some on lunch break. Kiri, when are you leaving? I thought you left the paycheck plantation. I'm at home, unemployed. Why do you keep putting it? Is that a dick? Fucking, what's that? Is that an eggplant? Eggplant's the dick, right? Is that what his avatar picture is? What is that? He's going to be like, no, that's a purple fucking Christmas light.
Next to his name?
Scoop dog shit, and you can do what you want, like listening to SOE. Yeah, dog shit scoopers make a lot of money. Creating stronger community and getting together with friends often is the answer. Creating off-grid communications and a SOI shoot together. Learn each other's skills. Who says Democrats don't vote Republican? Convention of States needs to pass new amendments to override the SWSMP. I watch all these.
What is SWSMP?
I don't know what it is. I only asked because if most are at home in mom's basement. I don't think many of these people are at home in mom's basement. They're not going to be on this video typically. People in home in mom's basement don't typically have the beliefs that we have. Swamp. Sitting here during cycle time on my mill. Right on. Shit, I'm at work now delivering to a Walmart, DC in Florida. Some of us actually live free and can do what we want.
Golf skeet. We're going to play golf skeet? How do you play golf skeet?
Don't you just shoot golf balls as your friend throws them up in the air?
I mean, it could be a lot more complicated than that.
I'm at work, oil field company. Yeah, a lot of these dudes are like working. Yeah,
and real jobs.
We kind of require you guys to stop for a minute and type shit out. Otherwise, we don't do these videos. Yes. We just read your comments.
Working with earbuds. Oh, working with earbuds. Okay.
The Black Americans who have been the protected ones are now working up, being thrown under the bus for illegals. The blacks got to stand up first. Man, you're just hitting all those points. Waco, Ruby Ridge. You like, I don't know who you are, but you literally sound like a federal agent like that. You've got all of it. Every one of the talking points right there. And you might be a cool motherfucker, but coming across on the internet as somebody people don't know with the things you're saying, you really look like a fucking police officer. Like you look like a federal law enforcement officer or a caseworker. Currently diagnosing a furnace. I'm a redneck in Missouri. That's exactly what a Fed would say.
Oh, shit. That is exactly what a Fed would say.
What's my opinion on fats and body positivity? Be fat all you want. I don't care. I ain't fucking you. I don't give a shit. Like if I see, okay, if you're a dude and you got some fucking titties bolted on, right? And you lasered your mustache off. If you look like a woman, I'll be like, hey, that chick over there. But if you're dressed up as a woman and you got a 5 o'clock shadow, I'm going to be like, hey, you see that dude over there? Like, you just need to be a better bitch. That's all it is. Like, if you want to be a tranny, fucking fool people. Like, if I have to, is that a dude? Is that a woman? We ain't fucking with you. You're too hard to be a friend with. I'm not going to be where you are. Like, you're probably not coming to my place. We take the craziest, silly shit out there, and then the social media algorithm amplifies it so that you and I talk and we argue about it and believe that that's how shit really is. You know where it's not? It's not fucking here anywhere that we're at. Yeah, you got to be a better bitch. Like, it used to be when you'd hear about James Bond, Playmate of the Year, and Playboy was a tranny. That bitch had a vagina. She might have used to have a dick, but there's a fucking pussy there now. Like, I don't give two shits what people are doing. I don't fucking care.
Not really a pussy.
You think so?
Yeah, it's mostly vajankles. She with a silent S. I like that.
To the dog kennel, bang bang, no action here for them. Clifton, what's up, buddy? Blair White. Yeah, Blair White. Like, that looks like a fucking woman. She is attractive. I believe there's still a penis between those legs. I think she said that I think she's kind of come out against the trans shit. 2 of the political prisoners were released after 700. Oh, we're talking about the January 6th stuff. They were first charged with conspiracy to murder an officer and released yesterday with bullshit. That's interesting because it was only an officer that murdered a civilian.
That's it.
Ashley Babbitt, wasn't it Babbitt?
Wasn't even an officer.
He was, that black guy. He was some kind of
stupid congressional protective detail. That Ashley Babbitt was standing next to 2 police officers when she was killed. 2 real police officers. One of them had a goddamn AR-15. I am so surprised that dude from the security detail guy from Congress, he's lucky. Because I think if I was standing next to her and a gun would have went off, I would have probably started firing into that room back at that gun, thinking that it was somehow.
Yeah. How did they know what was in that room? Like, who were those bullets coming from? Somebody said, what do you think about the 2 SEALs we just lost? Like, that happened weeks ago. Yeah. And by the time you heard about it, it happened days before that also.
It's a secret government organization that is standing up a secret military. You know, where every Bruce Willis movie where they're like, this guy died in a helicopter crash in Guatemala. Same thing. These 2 SEALs are currently out in South America doing some operation.
So they were doing VBSS, and now they've left the vanilla teams, and now they're on the special squirrel teams.
Well, I just received word that a Marine Corps helicopter disappeared, and they found the helicopter, but they haven't found any of the guys.
And the whole crew's gone.
So again, a Marine Corps helicopter crew, 2 Navy SEALs. You got a crack commando team that's probably chasing down a predator right now in the
They'll
South
probably
American
make a TV
jungle.
show about them in a few years, A-Team or something. How close to monetization is Skully? I got like 4 tabs playing all day for about a week now. That's awesome.
It's close. It was 260 the last time I looked at it.
Building my house on my land. I don't see any immigrants here. Yeah. Yeah, we left the border state, right? We're not there. Yeah. Training accident. Somebody says training accident.
I had and even when we were there, we did a JTF operation on the Silver Strand looking for Navy SEALs bringing in drugs that they thought were bringing in drugs, and we were right on the Strand, and you could with the Dragon night tracker, you could look down at the bullfighting ring in Mexico, and at night you could see them all line up along the fence, and then they would go around the fence down by the beach and just walk up the beach. There was like 20 of them, and they all came walking up, and they had sack lunches. Everybody had a brown sack lunch. And at the end of the Strand, this was nighttime. It was probably, I think it was midnight, sometime around there. There was a Border Patrol van parked at the end of the cul-de-sac. And they're walking right towards that van. And we're like, oh shit, they're going to roll these guys up. They're going to roll these guys. They're going to get them. They're going to get them. And me and Chris sat there and watched them walk right by the van. They walked right in front of it. And they all walked by. Agents were half asleep in the fucking van. And we knock on the thing and they're kind of surprised to see it because we're fully kitted up and shit. They're kind of surprised to see us, but it was the Strand. So, the SEALs, they play down there all the time. And they roll their window down and we're like, hey man, you see all them illegals just walk in front of you? And they're like, did they have backpacks on or were they carrying sack lunches? And we're like, they had sack lunches. And he goes, we don't give a shit about those guys. And then they went back to sleep because they were looking for drugs. The promotions and the big money is the drug bust, not, getting 10 illegals that are just going up to pick flowers or whatever we need them to do.
So, going to look at a Honda mini truck for $10,000. What are they worth? 10,000 seems very high. It better be a fucking really nice mini truck.
If it's a new one, I mean, it depends on how new it is. They do hold they are expensive. I saw some Suzuki ones that were fucking nice. They were nice. They were as much as a regular car. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not buying that. You can get older ones for pretty cheap though. And again, my Suzuki Samurai, or not Samurai, Suzuki Sambar. It's not even a Suzuki. It's a Subaru Sambar. That's an 84, and it starts every single time. I mean, I have had no problems with that thing, and I treat it like a redheaded stepchild.
Hey, Waco Ruby Ridge, ask Matt Bracken, would you like me to text him or would you like to text him and ask him for me? Or do I need to do that myself? Because one of us actually has Matt's phone number. Yeah, I've read all the books. I'm well aware of it. And when you talk about self-segregation and collapse of society, Fairfowl, I have his phone number too. If you'd like me to ask him anything for you, he's got some of our gear. We know all those guys, man. I know. The question is, what are you fucking doing? What are you doing right now? Like, what are you doing right now? Jump into the conversation we're having here. Like, I do these every fucking night. I think I've seen you on once or twice before, but you always want to have this one conversation. Show up and fucking bring some shit that you created. Like, show up and fucking do something. Like, what are you actually doing other than typing out the same thing about the blacks and the whites? Like, go start your own YouTube. Somebody look at his YouTube channel. How many videos are there? Matt Williams. What's up, buddy? I actually know that motherfucker, Matt Williams. See the difference a lot. Scott Hassan. I know that motherfucker, right? These dudes. We know Matt Christopher. Like, we know these guys. We've been face to face. We've had meals together. We've occupied the same location, right? So when you come on and say the things you say, it doesn't add anything to the conversation. You are stuck on this one thing. Ever hear from Mookie? Yeah, Mookie was on my live last night.
The problem with politicians being looked at as enemies of the state is who's
looking at them.
They've corrupted the DOJ. They've corrupted the FBI. Who's looking at them? They've even corrupted the military. Every now and then you'll hear some bullshit about a military tribunal. They're going after senators. It's all corrupted. So who's going after them until you get your pitchfork and your torch and start storming the Capitol? Then none of them are going to be held accountable.
What is that? We've met many times. I've danced with my daughter on my back. I don't know who Darkwing is, and he's on my Twitter on X. Mike Kanzler. Basically, there's no one to hold them accountable. Yeah, somebody was like, and it's weird. Like, we do a podcast. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours long. And then some of our guys take and cut it into very short clips. And it is bizarre how much effort guys show up and fucking how many comments they make on this. And he was talking about that happening, about, nobody's going to stop him.
08, 09. I'm sure it was Sergeant Major Booker. I don't think there was another Booker in the Marine Corps. 1-8. I mean, that's possible. I didn't follow his career that much, outside of my sphere of influence because I was, self-absorbed and trying to survive. But it could have been him. He was, his final posting was Sergeant Major of all forces in Afghanistan. So he was, I don't know what that post is, but he was in charge of all forces in, as the senior enlisted, all forces in Afghanistan. That was his final posting. He was up for Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, but Marine Corps couldn't have handled him.
Canadian Crusader, what's up? Weapons Junkie, what's going on? Yeah, we're broadcasting on X. Yeah, nobody here has any problems with races, gays, ages, sex. Yeah, I mean, we have people from all walks of life that come to Self-Reliance Festival because they are all interested in being self-reliant, right? Gay people come here. Gay people come here who have adopted children. All kinds of colors, mixed race relationships. Like, we don't give a shit. We're just here for the same common interest. Cutting those pads up into YouTube shorts, appeasing the folks with short attention span. Well, it's what works though, right? Because of the short attention span and the massive views, it spurs the algorithm. If you look at my lives, we had 65,000 interactions on the live last night. Master Gun Sergeant Lumaboa.
He didn't shut Afghanistan down. He was there while Obama was still president, because I got a picture. There's a very good picture of him sitting very disgustedly at a table with Obama and Condoleezza Rice. It's pretty funny.
Some blue. No, we don't let blue-haired weirdos with nose rings. Only green-haired. I've seen some green-haired ones. Of course, Kiri. Of course.
Wait, I dated a girl.
Yeah, what did it say? I dated a girl for a while whose dad was Sergeant Major at MCRD for a while.
Oh.
Marine Corps Recruit Depot. You know, they made that. They had the recruits bring over a 5-gallon bucket of sand, and they made MCRD. Is that true?
Yeah, that's how they. Right after. Was it right after World War II? I got a leatherneck from 1947 that the Marine Corps really wishes were all burnt. You see the hazing that those drill instructors are doing. Oh man.
Have we heard anything about Tucker Carlson?
Outside the fact that he's in Russia, and the NSA and the CIA are doing everything they can to disparage his name and keep this interview from happening, which I don't understand. You know, that when you think about the CIA, you would want Tucker Carlson to go into Russia and have this interview because it gives them an opportunity to glean some information. Maybe Putin is going to tell fucking Tucker Carlson something that connects the dots somewhere else, that the CIA is going to now be able to go like, oh shit, now we know that the fucking Minsk battalion is going to be so-and-so. It doesn't make any sense unless you're just afraid that this interview is going to and somehow inform Americans of something that you don't want them to know. So it's asinine. It really is asinine. Who cares if Tucker Carlson interviews Putin? As a matter of fact, anybody who is in the industry, if you claim that you are a news reporter and you are a legit news reporter, they should all be frothing at the bit to interview Putin. To say that he shouldn't be interviewed because somehow he's going to, do something that it's going to affect, that's bullshit. That is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, apparently Oliver Stone interviewed Putin too.
Did he?
That's what Waco says.
Huh.
Has the interview aired yet? I don't think so. Can they get Tucker there? That's a good question.
Well, Tucker's there. Hey,
Tucker has a military security detail.
Tucker Carlson is already in Russia. He did a live this morning, I believe. He's already there. So the question will be, does he get back?
Have a cool picture with Tucker in a gun store. He was buying an AR and a case of ammo. He said he has many.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure it would be funny to see Tucker Carlson shooting an AR.
He might be classed up, man.
He might be. He might be a ninja, but I feel like it'd still be funny.
I hear gravel crunching.
Uh-oh, somebody just pulled up. Oh, can they get him?
Yeah,
there?
no, I understand.
I mean,
He's probably safer in Russia. I understand.
I
understand exactly what you're asking.
Yeah, they could. I mean, technically nobody's untouchable, but
do you think that
he's
Europe
probably safer there?
Do you think that Europe and the world as a whole would have been better off if the monarchies of Europe were still intact?
I don't know. I don't know if we would be better off or not. Um, maybe not. Who
Friday,
knows?
6 p.m. is when it airs. Want to understand Ukraine? Watch Ukraine on Fire and Revealing Ukraine documentaries. Oh, is that a show or something on YouTube? What's one conspiracy we don't believe? Oh, I believe all of them. I mean, fucking name one that's not. Have you seen the how can you guys open the International Space Station and not lose pressure? And you see the astronaut putting the hatch on, right? And it's like fabric. The hatch is fucking all floppy, like they painted some cardboard. I believe all the conspiracy theories. Come on. I know people like to ask that. Name one you don't believe.
I don't know. I don't know if Snowden is still in Russia or not.
The frogs are gay. Yeah, they can hermaphrodite. Will we deny him re-entry? No, it's just some bullshit. It's just, look, the people that you're hearing this from, right? The people we watch social media on YouTube, right? We watch news or proclaimed news reporters on social media. Most of them are 3 to 5 days late on the actual incident happening. And we think that it's current events because we watch the 5 or 6 people who are currently talking about it. But it comes from mainstream media for the most part, or some guy who happened to be there mentions it. They say crazy shit and fabricate stories. And you even see Tim Pool do it all the time. You see a lot of the people that content that we consume, we see it, they all do it. They need it for views. There's some fact in there. Hey, this thing happened. Now, what if they did this and then this other thing and then these whole things happened? It's all about being relevant. All of these YouTube channels weren't doing shit. Like a lot of these guys had these YouTube channels for 15 years and they got big and they got numbers and they started making mass monetization. And because they have eyeballs, they get all kinds of click through ads and they get sponsor dealerships. That's all contingent on viewers. And you have to say crazy shit to have viewers. It is all revenue. They make a lot of money off of telling you the news, and what works, they continue to do more of that. If they say some shit that doesn't work, then they don't fucking continue to do it. Yeah, Tim Pool's good for about 10 to 15 minutes before he goes off on his fantasy fucking wacko bullshit. Absolutely. Television, tell a lie, television. Yeah, absolutely. History is his story. Conspire is to breathe together, right? Amusement means no thought. Skully is right. If he gets back, it would benefit the left to have us on the conservative side think Russia takes Tucker out, then CIA actually does it. Yeah, I mean, we can weave all.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to get a hard time when he comes back. They're going to, go through his luggage. And
I don't believe in flat Earth, but if I got a call right now that there was a dragon crawling out on the ground in the major city, I'd ask, what color is it? Nothing surprises me. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like when we have these, I love the conspiracy theory conversations. I love untold history or mistold history, right? And when you hear the other side of it, I love that stuff. But what does it do for me, right? Does it help my family in any way? Does it distract me from actually getting things done, right? I consume content when I'm doing something, right? So I get on you guys. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers have the same 24 hours and you're not doing shit, but you know all of this stuff about all these movies. I do the same shit. I watch it too. I happen to be running a sewing machine, right? I'm not sitting on a couch or sitting in bed watching TV. I'm actually accomplishing something. I put on podcasts or I put on YouTube stuff and I set my phone on the 4-wheeler and I cut a bunch of firewood yesterday. And then I hauled it over to the splitter and I split a bunch of firewood. I just accomplished things at the same time. I get it. When will SOE extended battery radio pouch be available back in stock? I have them right now, Trojan. Maybe they're not online. What color you want? I know I have multicam ready to ship, and it's not for the UV5R. It's the one with the extended battery. I don't think they call it the 5R. I think it's the 8R or something. The problem is I want them to be true, so I have to veer off so I can get shit done. I've got 3 jobs and starting a 4th. Man, aren't you doing like some great you're doing a lot of fieldcraft stuff, and I know you're doing like some tracking stuff. I've seen that. I've got your fucking cup. I was looking at it yesterday, and that copper tube you made that's all patinaed and shipwrecked. Like you've I don't know what you're currently doing, but I know that you were fucking quite the artist when you were doing that. It sits in my office. I had it in my hand yesterday. Monarchies are just a grift for the money control. I listen to books when I'm printing or driving trash routes. I don't set down. If I do, I fall asleep. You and me both, man.
Yeah.
We'll be sitting here and I'm like, he'll fucking kick me. He's like, hey, motherfucker, wake up.
No, I don't.
He's really mean to me.
I do not. But don't get John in a car. Motherfucker will be asleep in 30 seconds.
But if I'm fine if I'm driving.
Don't let him lie to you. He does never drive. Never.
If I'm driving,
drives.
I'm fine. If I'm
Go
riding, I'm asleep.
Go ahead and get in any SOE. Come here and get in any SOE vehicle on the property right now. The seat is like 2 inches from the steering wheel. You know who's driving.
I have vehicles Amanda can't drive. Like even with the seat forward, she can't reach the pedal.
Which one?
There's a couple of them that are like that.
Can she drive the Nissan, the van?
She can. Yeah, we took it to Atlanta a few times. Yeah. She can drive that. But there's something like she hates driving my Tundra. She has to tiptoe it. She can't fucking reach it. Right. I think the Dodge she has an issue with. The Excursion, the pedal actually adjusts on the Excursion. UV5R pouch extended battery. Is that what I call it? Yeah, we've got them, buddy.
Is there one on the ground right there?
Yeah, there is. Actually, can you grab it?
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, I did a video on Friday about it.
I don't know what the extended pouch is.
Homestead just posted it. Thank you. It's this one right here. So that's these. So it is the, I don't see a model number on this. But it's this one right here. We give you plenty of bungee here. You can tighten it as much as you want so that if you're running taller radios. We just made this pouch Velcros in so that you have full cover rather than the Velcro there. There is enough play in here that it'll hold this with an exoskeleton so you don't accidentally push buttons and change the knobs. And then it'll also work with all of your adapters for your earpieces and stuff. There's plenty of room built into this, and it's totally secure also. Do you ever tie blocks to your feet like the kid? No. I usually have her feet behind her head. Do you think the ancient world had advanced technology? Yeah, I actually do believe that. Yeah. I think that the Egyptians didn't make any of that shit. They just showed up one day and all that shit was there. And it's a trip, right? When we talk about the history of the world and how things were supposed to be behind our current technology and intelligence now, how do we have the exact same pyramids? I mean, like exact same pyramids, same orientation, same measurements all over the world. And they're still finding more pyramids all over the world.
Hey, you know what's interesting about pyramids? You know what's interesting about pyramids? Everybody always does that conspiracy theory about the pyramids. The Egyptians never built the pyramids. The Egyptians never built the pyramids. You know the pyramids in Mexico? No one says the Mexicans didn't build them.
Yeah, how about all that Egyptian shit in the Grand Canyon? In the waistband or rig style in Lethal Weapon?
In the waistband or rig style in Lethal Weapon?
Riggs.
Weapon? So Riggs had the
cross straw.
Hey,
isn't that an SOB or something?
It depends on your attire. Obviously, if you're casual, in the waistband, but if you got to suit up, go with the shoulder holster. Be cool.
Did we see the psychic on Sean Ryan? I don't know if I did. I watched some of Sean's stuff. I think Sean is the #2 podcast in the world right now. We've bumped into Sean a few times around Franklin.
That's probably true. Mexicans probably did build the pyramids in Egypt.
Yeah, this will work on any Yaesu. It'll work on anything of similar size to those radios. I have sand, dirt from the Fertile Crescent, got while in Iraq 2003 at the site of an excavation where the Iraqis were digging at the birthplace of Adam and Abraham. How about the Stargates that were there? Brother Gas, what's up? ETA on covert back panels. I don't know what that is, Corey. We don't make
Covert back panel? Is
Sometimes
that
people say shit, and I'm like,
the
oh
back
yeah.
panel that goes on the seat? Is that a covert back
I
panel?
don't know. I stopped making those. Did you ever listen to the interview with Sean Ryan when he was interviewed the guy discussing the pyramids? Oh yeah. That guy was big around on Art Bell too. That the bald guy with the glasses, or I can't remember what, a doctor something. Yeah, we listened to some. I did pay attention to some of that.
Yeah,
Back panel.
Hey, the problem with the Miami Classic is recently my buddy Lance got me for Christmas. He got me, because I always talk about Miami Vice, how much I love that show. He got me a Miami Classic for 1911, and I've been playing with it, and it's just so funny how casual people were back then, because everything you do with a Miami Classic holster, you're flagging everybody with it. You're just flagging people with it. It's just funny.
The bottle sits idle, and whenever opened, a small smoky dust cloud arises out of it. Oh, interesting.
Spooky.
The Irish were close to space travel when they created whiskey, and all was lost. Maybe. I mean, what do you guys think about mud flood? There seems to be a lot of. Do you think that, like, free energy, right? When you look at that, orphan trains, orphan farmers, the Cabbage Patch Kids, like, if you're hearing these words and you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? Pull that thread a little bit and start looking at some of that shit. It's pretty fucking wild. Skully could bring a little spoon to these live chats. Backpack. Oh, covert backpacks. We're shipping some. We're building almost every day. We're building covert packs.
Skully wishes he could bring a little spoon to these live chats.
Skully, was Tom Berenger in Sniper your inspiration to become a sniper?
I was already, believe it or not,
Yep.
I'm dating myself. I was already a scout sniper when Berenger made those movies. So, yeah. No, everybody. Actually, was it the first sniper movie where he's catching the brass? He influenced. So the first Tom Berenger sniper movie actually influenced what scout snipers were doing later on. So if you remember the movie, there's a scene where he pops the bolt and he catches the brass, right? Guys were practicing that. Dudes would be practicing catching the brass. Because it used to be slow and everything was slow and deliberate. Everything was slow and deliberate. So it was that everybody practiced for that one shot, one kill kind of thing. And so all your movements were slow and deliberate. And then sometime in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. No, it had to been in the 90s because of SOTG, when we started doing rapid bolt manipulation. All that slow and deliberate shit went out the window.
Have you ever thought about getting a training day shoulder holster and a pair of 4506 Smith & Wessons?
That would be cool. I don't own any. I don't own any Smith & Wesson semi-automatics. I just don't like the way they look.
Wasn't the 4506? Wasn't that the Miami Vice? Didn't one of those guys have one of those?
Well, Crockett carried a 10 millimeter Smith & Wesson, and then they changed it. They transitioned it down to a 45 later. But yeah, Smith & Wesson was very popular for him for a while.
Mud flood sounds legit. So, like, look at the World Fairs. Do you really think that we did, like, the San Francisco World Fair or any of the World's Fairs? Like, do you think we built that shit and now everything we build looks like a cardboard box? What about all those antennas? What do you think all that shit? You think they just thought they just randomly put a bunch of weird fucking antennas on the roof? Or do you think maybe they serve some kind of purpose? Best sniper movie. Is there one at all?
Best sniper movie. Is there one at all? I'm sure there's one, but nothing's
There
coming
is.
on my mind right now.
It's Navy SEALs. It was God with the 50 cal.
I'm sure there's a good sniper movie, but I'm trying. They kind of screw sniper stuff up, but it's all right. Whatever.
Because there's a conspiracy against them.
Well, that's because the Marine Corps hates snipers. That's just the fact. That's why they killed him. Billy Zane. Yep, Billy Zane was the man. Didn't he throw up the first time?
Any idea when we might run large woodland zippered mesh pockets? All the fucking time. We run mesh pockets literally every day.
Shooter's pretty good. Yeah, the Bob Lee Swagger. Those books are really good. I like that series.
I like the TV show they were doing.
M&P looked better than a Glock. If you've seen any of the tests that Grantham did about mud and freezing, the M&P actually did better than the Glocks. Lasted longer in the tests.
Enemy at the Gates.
Enemy at the Gates is not bad. It's not bad. The problem with Enemy at the Gates is there's no actual documentation that those two ever faced off for real.
Still got the shovel. So that old dude.
Yeah, that old dude is badass.
We met that guy.
Yeah,
the real one.
Sniper 93 with Tom Berenger. I mean, it was inspirational, but it wasn't that good.
The design of the old churches in relation to power sources, an interesting topic. Yeah, look at what they say the asylums really were. Re-education. Thoughts on the CZ Scorpion pistol?
CZ Scorpion. I mean, it's a good pistol. I don't have one.
Stephen Greer. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy that they were talking about that was on Sean's show. Greer's been around a very long time.
We had somebody bring a truckload, or not a truck, a trunk load of CZs here to shoot. Remember that?
Yeah,
they shot really good. I don't remember who that was. They were good shooting guns.
Thoughts on how Graham's thumb steroid use will end 40 pounds in 6 months? I use steroids. Like, I mean, all you motherfuckers that are like worried about dudes taking testosterone. I think everybody in this room is taking testosterone. I think every man in my building is taking testosterone. Some of the women are taking testosterone. Like, if you're not aware, women have testosterone also. Like, if your woman is low energy, low sex drive, angry mood all the time, chances are her test levels are low. Like, that's a real thing. Like, get the hormones checked. PSA, AKV, 9mm, CZ Scorpion mags, great gun. He said a lot. I don't know. CZ
Scorpion, got that. That's CZ Scorpion's a good gun. I don't have a PSA 9mm AK. I don't see the point.
Try a 10mm M&P EDC pistols in rotation. Why don't you just keep one gun in for EDC and get 3 of those?
Because some guns go better with your outfit. You gotta accessorize, John.
I get it.
You need to broaden your horizons.
I wear a watch depending on which car I'm driving.
Yeah.
You still have to pick up weights on steroids. Yeah, guys, like, you have to work out. Like, you do what you want to do. Testosterone is inexpensive. Yes.
But the reality is there's evidence that since the 50s, testosterone levels in men have been dropping in the United States, and that could be a big problem with, when you think about suicide and a lot of things, that could be a big problem.
Waiting on my lab's prescribed test booster. So, hey, Justin, when you go, especially general practitioner, you should have 2 test numbers, right? You should have free test and overall test. And if your doc's giving you one and not talking vitamin B, vitamin D, and all these other things, you've got the wrong doctor. Is 308 king, or are you jumping on the 6.5 Creedmoor train?
308's king. 6.5 Creedmoor. I mean, 6.5 Creedmoor serves a purpose. I think if I was gonna teach a young lady on how to shoot a sniper rifle, I'd have her shoot 6.5 Creedmoor because it's an easy platform to learn on. But 308 is king. You're not gaining anything with 6.5. As a matter of fact, just take a look at the circuit. Like, everybody started screaming 6.5, and now they're transitioning to other calibers. They're not staying with 6.5. So maybe when SIG gets their head out of their ass and they start really making those rifles, that the 6.5 by 51 will take off. I'm really interested in the 6.5 by 51, but only in the steel brass cartridge, the high pressure cartridge. It'd be really neat to see that in a bolt action rifle, to see what kind of long range accuracy you could get out of that high pressure round.
Corey said he just got home from King of Hammers. Were you driving or spectating, Corey? And was shocked to see how many multiple tactical nylon companies out there selling dog shit backpacks and bags. I gave out a couple SOE patches to guys. I appreciate you, Corey. Were they companies that you recognized, or you think they're just kind of like more like badging, import shit? You think they're buying Alibaba stuff and then just putting their own like company names on it? Or do you think it was like US made stuff that you actually you knew the companies?
Yeah, soy is a problem. It's in everything.
Not only that, rapeseed oil is even and microplastics and chlorine and bromine and chloramine. Like, everything that you come in contact with, to include your air, is even fucking poisoned. Will farmers' protest in Europe spark Americans into action? We're too comfortable.
Yeah, too comfortable. Not yet. We're not there yet. I mean, again, the stuff that's going on in Europe, those farmers are uncomfortable, and that's why they're fucking dropping manure and lighting shit on fire over there right now, because they've been made uncomfortable. That's the same thing here.
Listen to this, Brandel. Regular doctor did a test with my physical. Testosterone was at 4. Going to see a specialist. 4. That doesn't sound like, I don't think that's even possible.
What's common? What's going to be common is 5.56. That's going to be everywhere. So, again, you're right. 6.5 Creedmoor is not going to be sitting on a street corner. There's not going to be a street corner dealer, but Walmart does sell 6.5 Creedmoor now.
Did you ever shoot a division of EIC?
No. I can say that already. I haven't shot anything that is EIC matches. I want in the. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I did 1 year with Hayes. I did shoot matches with Hayes 1 year.
400 something. Yeah, that's
trying to get on the rifle team, but
oh no, 4, not 4. No, 4 in the 400 range. Got it. Okay, so you have 2 numbers. You have overall, and you have free test. My free test is at 50. That's as high as the test. Like there's not a number above it. My free test is 1500, which is also the max. Now we were talking earlier. Brando heard that LabCorp is actually starting to rank up to 1850. So I'll be curious to see where I sit, because the labs that we use are LabCorp labs. Is sesame seed oil? I don't know. I use some sesame seed oil. Rapeseed oil is canola oil, guys. Skully, have you seen the new world record shot made with the 416 Barrett 4.4 miles?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm not interested in any of that stuff, because it's not.
He almost said it's not real.
Not real. It's not real. What I was going to say is it's not realistic.
Right? What am I taking to control estrogen? I'm not taking shit. My test, like a lot of people who have an estrogen problem on testosterone, it's because your testosterone is not high enough. When you go to a GP, if you're taking a shot once a week, you're probably fucked up. And if you're taking a shot every 2 weeks, you're actually becoming a fucking chick. You're spiking your estrogen. Take whatever your dosage. If you're taking an injection per week, break that into 3 separate injections and do it 3 times a week. You'll be a lot more stable.
That is true.
Use EVO, grapeseed, peanut oil. Use lard or beef tallow. And guys, tallow, if you're taking tallow that you're buying at Walmart, tallow, when you turn it upside down, should be hard like a candle. It shouldn't fall out of the container. If it does, you've got trash tallow. There's other shit in there. And there's a company making fucking tallow that's coming in a spray, and it's fucking it's great. I don't remember the company. I've got some in the kitchen. I use it every morning. Besides Safariland, who else makes a good holster? There's a lot. You have a lot of options for Kydex holsters right now. A lot. Check out Eclipse. I have a lot of people in the building using Eclipse holsters. We've got friends that own companies. Eclipse ships your shit within a couple days. It's amazing how many different products they have. Woman-owned marine, family-owned business, and they get your shit out like that, and it doesn't fucking rattle, and it doesn't fucking shake, and there hasn't been any issues with it. The quality control is very high. I don't have any fucking love from Eclipse. I don't even know a person at Eclipse.
There's nothing wrong with a 16-inch 308 gun. Don't go under 16 inches. You're just creating a flamethrower. Even 16 is a little short for a 308. A lot of unburnt powder coming out of, or a lot of burning powder coming out of the end of that gun. But there's nothing wrong with the 308 16-inch gun. It'll do the work. It'll do the work of 10 AR-15s.
I'm 40. I had issues with low T when I started having kidney stones. Interesting. Do you think high testosterone is sort of the reason you don't need? Oh, it's absolutely the reason I don't need to sleep that much. Brecca was on Brad Lee's podcast, and Brecca's like, you need 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and Brad Lee goes, I sleep 4 hours a day, and I'm always on, and I run all these businesses. He goes, what would you say to that? He goes, I'd say you have high testosterone. And he's like, I absolutely have high testosterone. And there's a lot of things that go with that too. And when you start talking with guys like Brecca, MNN, PTP, there's all kinds of, and a lot of this stuff, they're doing it through IV infusions. So you're going to sit in a chair. When I do a therapeutic blood draw, I have one IV going in one arm and I have blood coming out of the other arm. And it takes about 35 minutes typically to do that. There's also a lot of those chemicals. You have to run them at a very slow rate because they burn when they go in. So you're going to have a 1 hour infusion also.
Oh, I know somebody who does that.
What?
No, just a bad infusion. The SIG 716i, I have that rifle. It's a great rifle.
Ford Holster Company comes out Friday. Cool. I've never even heard of them. We'll check it out. Vetter. Yep. Who's the kid over here in Tennessee?
That does what?
T-Rex Arms.
T-Rex Arms.
We've got guys that have T-Rex holsters that like them. That sidecar thing. Vetter. ARN Design makes a nice holster. Yeah, I've not heard of any of these guys. Chris Baker, what's up? Where do you get tests from? I use a company called Optimize You, optimizeyounow.com. You have a lot of options, man. But Optimize You has clinics across the United States. Bob, a lot of dudes here. Anybody in here that's using test uses Optimize You. If you want to disclose that here, you can type that out here. I use Optimize. He uses Optimize. That dude over there uses Optimize. I've probably got another 10 people in the building. All TAC response guys use Optimize. That's how we got hooked up with them. I go in and I sit down with the owner of the company when I go in there.
Man, make sure you put some sunglasses on when you're shooting that G3K at 12 inches because you're going to get a solar flare when that thing pops off.
Test makes me sleep. Yeah, I call it optimization of sleep. Also keeps my wife from sleeping, and sometimes she wakes up sideways. Yeah. Austin uses Optimize You, Tony Chicago, Bob Lester, Nikki Haley, One World Economic Forums, Young Global. So maybe she is. I don't doubt that. But when you hear One World Economic, WEF, they have grants. People apply for grants. That doesn't mean they've ever been to Davos. I'm not saying that doesn't mean that, but that's the case. What would y'all suggest from an entry AR platform that leaves room for optimization in various areas? There's so many companies punching out ARs. It's a spider web of options.
Get a Palmetto State Armory with an FN barrel.
There you go.
If it's just an entry gun, get a Palmetto. Make sure you get the FN barrel, and you're not going to have any problems with it.
Weed in the greenhouse. Le Petit. What's up, buddy? How do you get weeds in the greenhouse? Like, how are they getting in there? Just from soil you're bringing in?
The wind.
Skully, according to SHOT Show 24, tactical lever guns are in.
I mean, thank you, Chris Costa. It was him, what, a year ago? Was it? It's been a year since Chris has been running that lever gun.
It's been more than that, yeah. Wild Pigs Custom.
Thank you, Chris Costa, for creating this need that we don't need.
There's some great companies out there making shit for lever guns, and you're starting to see them come out with stuff for shotguns also. Who cares? Who cares what, June? What are we talking about?
Yeah, Spike Tactical makes good guns.
Get a Daniel.
Really soft shooting.
Daniel
Defense is good. Again, I would not call any of those entry-level guns. They're expensive.
Drill and Parsley from last fall. Got it. Gotcha.
Make sure you know what you want before you spend the big money.
Hoss G, what's up? Who cares about lever gun? I mean, I think they're fucking cool, June. Do you not have a lever gun? Do you not want a lever gun? Like, you have everything you want? Speaking of a need, we don't need. Why can't someone start making Corgi? What? Krag Jorgensen rifles. I was thinking the dog Corgi. Aero Precision. Clay of what up?
Precision's good.
Aim surplus barrels. Man, there's so much good shit out there. And when we talk about stuff that's not good nowadays, it's all fucking better than it was 5 years ago. When it was dirt bikes, right? When I was riding Kawasaki KX125s, they do these head-to-head shootouts, right? And I had buddies that rode for like factory rider, like supercross riders. They were giving these guys 3 and 4 motorcycles. And every one of those dudes could smoke me no matter what fucking bike I was on. And when I'd get on a Honda and a Yamaha, and most of my friends who rode for Kawasaki and Honda, they tested for Yamaha, or when they were riding Yamaha, they tested for Honda, right? So they got to ride all these bikes. I couldn't tell the fucking difference on any of those fucking motorcycles other than where the power band came on. And we could tune all of that through an FMF or a Bill's pipe. Daniel must be entry level. My 7-year-old has 2.
No, Bob, you're spending some money. You were spending some money.
Better have a lever gun and revolver. Keeping up with mags is gonna be interesting when shit hit the fan. I don't know about that.
You buy
There's
mags.
so many out there.
You buy mags now.
Don't you
Oh,
have?
goodness.
Don't all of you have a couple cases of P mags? That's 100 mags.
I probably have that many in aluminum mag, just from my time in service. My God.
BCM, best for the money.
I mean, the thing about lever guns, guys, is unfortunately there are states that are always trying to ban firearms, and the lever gun is the last gun they go after. So there's some people that can only use a lever gun.
As soon as they started making cool shit to put on lever guns, guys started. Remember in the 90s, nobody wanted an AK until Surefire came out with a way to put a light on an AK. And then all of a sudden people started buying AKs. And then they came out with a rail system and, cool stocks and shit. It's the same reason people buy Toyotas. Nobody wants a fucking Tacoma. You buy a Tacoma because you can put a bunch of shit on it.
The issue with the lever guns is the AR-15 market is oversaturated. Everybody has one, and if you're in the gun business, you got to get people to buy guns.
That's a good point. How do you get a guy that owns 10 fucking AR-15s
to buy another gun?
Yeah,
you tack out a lever gun.
Browning BLR lever action rifles are made from 223 to 300. Yeah, I just saw a lever gun that takes PMags. It fucking looked neat.
Yeah.
My first lever gun was a Sears and Roebuck 22, and I think it had an 8-round magazine. And the firing pin was broke, so Mom thought I could have it because there was no firing pin. And all you had to do was take a finishing nail and clip it and put it in there, and it was good for 1 round.
Nice.
You could get it to shoot. You'd have to find the pin or have a bunch of pins in your pocket. Is it really that cool if you have to add? I don't know. I mean, guys like to buy shit, man.
Or you could just send that trigger back to PSA and have them fix it.
PMag just came out with a translucent mag like Lancer mags.
Yeah, they just came out with it. So we are now in the shadow of Europe.
Went to the gun show this weekend. Most of the lever guns were sold out by Saturday afternoon.
Of course, yeah, because everybody's got an AR.
All right, you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I do. I got to get out of here.
3:00. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for bullshitting. I'll be on live tonight at 9:00 if you want to jump on. We'll have a little more energetic conversation because I'll be standing up and not sitting down. So jump on 9:00 on YouTube, and we can talk about whatever you want. First couple minutes of the video, I'll run around and show you all the gear that we made, and then I'll show you the gear that's currently on the SOS stations. Man, I want to keep reading these. All right, I got to get off.
I'm out.
See ya.
I'll see you guys. Randall, thanks. John, thanks as always. I'll see you.
How do I end this? Yeah, I'm trying to fucking close it. I'm still on live here.